Jack of spades.
Rob like rob a bank here, aka Rob himself sports, aka the liquored up kicker. Put it down. I got my pardon my language, flipping best dudes of me. I got Bubba Frank here. Two. Bubba Frank 2. And I got Nicholas, give me that Bette. And he is here to tell you all loud and clear how he feels about everything. Boom, 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 boom. So, you heard what we feel about the games. We made our clear picks, even though some of you are picking against us, so feel free to take your advantage. We all feel that confident in our 4th grade and awesome pre-4th grade and bareheaded hats. This is straight up fantasy. We are going to break it down from game 1 to the last one. Okay, we're going to do trust, bust, and lust. Trust is who we trust in the game. That's the guy, you know he's getting you points, and we're like, okay, we got you. Bust, that's the guy you think is getting you points, and get you points. Lust, that's the guy that he may be supposed to get you 6 points, he may be supposed to get you 1 point. We think he's going to get you more points. And then we're saving the best for last, the Ogletree. In honor of tonight, where friggin'
replacement Ron Robinson,
the Super Bowl champion, and all of his soldiers had nothing to do with anything, but Ogletree is going to dominate fantasy after week 1. Your waiver wire is going to be beat up. You're not going to get Ogletree, but we're going to help you figure out who else you might get. We're all going to give you the next Ogletree coming into Sunday. Scoop them before Sunday. Your rosters aren't locked. Nobody locks their rosters on Wednesday. Let's get it going. Okay. Colts versus Bears. Trust. Matt Forte. I don't care if he's hurt. I don't care if he's crying. That's a good running back. And your man don't be lying. Frank.
Matt Forte as well. Same reasons Rob.
BEDI.
I also go with Matt Forte. Unfortunately, I have to agree with these two, but you know he's the Bears O right now. Bears the low.
He's the cat's meow.
He catches out of the backfield, does everything you need him to do. Forte.
BEDI, I feel like I really hear what you're saying. Falcons against Chiefs. I love what the Chiefs are throwing out, but the Falcons just, there's so many offensive weapons. My trust for the Falcons is Matt Ryan. Francois?
Matt Ryan as well, with Julio Jones and Roddy White.
But that's all 2 has to say, but I will choose Roddy White in this particular instance. I just trust him. He's consistent week in, week out, and you can't expect anything less from him at this point.
It's pretty crazy for people who have one or the other, Roddy White or Julio Jones, but if you love Matt Ryan, I think you feel pretty nice right now. Alright, we're moving on. Eagles, Browns. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, Joe Hayden is out. I think all the Eagles passing game is going to go crazy. Michael Vick's in a bulletproof vest, but my trust is Shady McCoy. What do you got?
Is the real Slim Shady McCoy.
I'm also with McCoy. He's the best back in the league, regardless of what these two say. Best back in the league, catch out of the backfield. He does anything on week in, week out. It's LaShawn McCoy at this point.
You gotta trust the good guys. Redskins, Saints. Again, I'm trusting the best guy out of the group. I'm trusting Breeze. RG3, that's awesome. I don't trust. I don't know who Breeze is gonna throw to, and I don't know what RG3 is gonna do. I trust Drew Brees.
Drew Brees as well. And he's calling his own plays.
You know, the Redskins, they're up and coming, maybe still gonna finish 4th in the division. I trust Drew Brees. He just, breaks Dan Marino's record of passing yards, as well as other people. But you can't go wrong with Drew Brees.
It's not a fluke,
It's not a fluke.
You don't break
Not a
records.
fluke.
That's what this kid used to play in elementary school.
Rams, Lions. Again, I gotta go with the obvious one. I feel like Calvin, whether he's over projected in your league, I'm saying he can only score 3 or 4 TDs. Like if he's projected to do more than that in your league, like go out and get yourself some insurance. But yeah, nobody's gonna be shocked if he scores 3 touchdowns. Francois.
As much as I love Calvin, I'm going with Matthew Stafford before he breaks his arm and gets injured, like always.
I don't know what that means.
Better. It means that either way, Calvin is going to put up the numbers. Best wide receiver in the game. Count on him week in and week out. I'm going Calvin Johnson regardless.
Pats Titans. My trust again is the most popular dude. Tom Brady. That smile just burst. No, I'm just kidding. He can't lose. He can't lose. I trust Tom Brady. He throws at least 2 touchdowns, puts up some yards. Throw it down. We're going.
Chris Johnson. I went to the game 3 years ago and he rushed for 158 yards against the Patriots in the snow.
I'm going to go Tom Brady myself. As much as I don't like the guy, he's as consistent as you can get. And you can trust him week in and week out. Tom Brady.
Okay. Jaguars, Vikings. I'm gonna trust my boy. I got him in every league. It says who I got. I got him in every league. His name is Percy Harvin. I reach for him once in a while. After Christian Ponder became the starting quarterback last year, Percy Harvin led the league in targets. He gets migraines every week. It's very frustrating. Luckily, he gets the 1 o'clock games, but he is a great player. He works in the backfield. He works on the split out. Percy Harvin is my trust in that game. BEDI, is that who you had listed? I think it looks like Harvin and sloppy.
I will say that although Percy Harvin has the most targets in the league since whenever he was talking about, doesn't mean he has the most receptions. I will take Adrian Peterson. I feel like he recovers from his injury and is fast recover all day. AP.
Percy Harvin. But Rob didn't save any reasons for me to say.
It's all good. Bills, Jets. You know I'm Team Bills. I had my poppy dressed up earlier. I love me some Bills. I'm honestly with everybody on what's going on with Jets. My trust is Fred Jackson. He's healthy. He's going to cover his own points, whatever it is, on the front.
Fred Jackson as well. On to BEDI too.
All right, on to BEDI. I'm going to go on a limb and say my trust is Dustin Keller. At this point, they have no receivers. The rushing game is suspect. I mean, it's a tight end that I feel like they need to turn to at this point, so I'm going to go Dustin Keller all the way.
I don't want to be out of line, but I've been a Keller fan for years. We're moving on to Dolphins-Texans.
I think we can all say Arian Foster.
Trust Arian Foster. Anybody got anything else?
I do. I have Matt Schaub. When he's healthy, he's a top quarterback in the league. He's spreading the ball around. He tons of passing yards. He does anything you need him to do. Healthy, I take Matt Schaub.
Yeah, I honestly could not say a negative thing about that. They gave Vontae Davis up to the Colts for basically a 6th-round draft pick, the way I understand it. Anyway, we're moving on. Seahawks, Cardinals. I actually had the Cardinals picked. I don't know if you watched our previous program, but I picked the Cardinals in this. I trust, for the once and only time this year, I trust Beanie Wells in this game. If he's healthy, he Beanie Wells and Willis McGahee carried my team last year to the best record in the regular season. So if Beanie's ready to go, he's ready to go. It's just in fantasy, he's not worth waiting on for a 405 questionable. But if Beanie's ready to go, Beanie is my trust.
I agree with Rob. Beanie Wells should be healthy for at least 1 week in the season. But my pick is going to be with Marshawn Lynch. Beast mode.
He's not playing anymore.
No chance. Keep going.
I'm going to go with Larry Fitzgerald, being he's in the starting lineup and playing this week, and he's not out due to injury.
And Fitz had a better repertoire with scouts than Cobb, so it's gonna go.
And go Turbin.
All right, so Niners Packers. I got a very obvious one here.
Yeah.
My trust is Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. Discount double check.
Yeah, Nick, better?
I'm going to go ahead and go with, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm trying to surprise him, but yeah.
Discount double check.
Bubba Frank 2 right here.
Alright, Panthers at Bucks. My trust here is a little weird. I'm trusting the guy that I got on my team. His name's Doug Martin. And a lot of fantasy guys love him. A lot of the outsiders don't know much about him. But if this guy, I love what LeGarrette Blount did for the Bucs the past 2 years. If Doug Martin beat this guy out, I just trust what he could do against the Panthers. Franks, 2.
Cam Newton, because Tampa Bay is pathetic. Enough said.
He actually wrote that complete sentence down.
He did. I expect, as much as Rob over there loves Doug Martin, LeGarrette Blount's injured. I expect big things. Actually, I'm going to take a sleeper. I'm going to go with D'Angelo Williams. I expect a big game out of him with his rushing attack.
Somebody's got to take the ball for that team.
D'Angelo is a beast. So is Jonathan Stewart, but a two-headed monster. D'Angelo's going to carry the load. Great running back.
I think out of the fantasy draft, he was the best value because he went 2 or 3 rounds later than Jonathan Stewart.
Later than expected. Yeah. Great running back.
All right, so now we're moving on to the Steelers Broncos. I love me some Peyton Manning, but I think Steelers are there. My trust from this game is Willis McGahee. Like I said last round with Beanie, these guys carried me through everything. Willis McGahee will fight off No-Sean, Ronnie Hillman, and all these other guys. Willis will hold his spot as long as he keeps injury free. Betty, what do you think?
I'm actually going to go with somebody that nobody expects. I'm going to say Antonio Brown is the key to this game. He went way later than anybody expected. Mike Wallace is a deep threat, this and that, but Antonio Brown is the wide receiver of the game. Ben Roethlisberger loves to throw him the ball. It's just, the running game suspect is the key to the game at this point.
I'm going to take the better brother and go with Peyton Manning. He's going to carve the Steelers up like Swiss cheese.
All right. We're on the Monday nights now. Bengals, Ravens. I got to trust my boy, Ray Rice, Rutgers. Shout out to Ray Ray's mom. Had some good times together. Yeah, I think Ray will cover the points that he's supposed to. And then in the Chargers Raiders, I like Carson Palmer. Step his game up and get her done. What do you guys have for Monday night?
I got Ray Rice and McFadden.
I think Ray Rice is just way too much for the Bengals to carry at this point. He's a workhorse. He does everything you can ask out of a running back. And as far as the Monday night game goes, McFadden, when he's healthy, that's other than my boy LaShawn McCoy, best running back in the league. He's potential's through the roof.
All right, now we're gonna break down our busts and lucks together. Colts and Bears. My bust is Andrew Luck. I think he's going to have a great career, but I think too many people buying into the hype. And my lust is Donald Brown. I think you're writing them off. Joseph BEDI is nowhere to be found. When Joseph BEDI is nowhere to be found, call Donald Brown. Betty.
I will say that I don't believe that Andrew Luck is a bust. I believe that's more towards RG3 and Adai was a little suspect, but I will say my bust is the Bears defense. They've been hyped up the whole offseason.
Right, facing a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. They're aging. Andrew Luck's been, he's been everything you can ask for so far in the preseason, and my lust is Brandon Marshall. I expect big things out of him. I hope he does well with the Jay Cutler connection. That's my deal.
My bust is Andrew Luck too. We got that.
Oh,
Same as
okay.
mine.
Because he's going against the Bears in Chicago. And then Donald Brown, just because I have him in fantasy, will shit all over the Bears in Chicago.
Well, I agree with you. Alright, and so, moving on to the Falcons-Chiefs. My bust is Dwayne Bowe. I love him. He is so legit, and I think this is a year that he hangs around and stays in the top 20 wide receivers, but this isn't his week, and my lost of opposite him is Peyton Hillis. He's going to hang in there and mop it up and take his thing on. Frank?
My lust is Peyton Hillis. Enough with the two. Because he's going to get all the goal line touchdowns. And then Castle is my bust. Just because there's no offensive line to help him. And he can't throw him around.
BEDI.
I will go ahead and say that I'm a little bit different. I think my bust is going to be Jamal Charles. Coming off a big knee injury. It's a little suspect. People have high expectations for him. It's a lot to live up to. I will say that my lust is the Chiefs defense. Tamba Ali, great pass rusher. Derek Johnson, underrated linebacker. I feel like the Falcons have a lot to live up to at this point in their season or their progress through the season.
I have personal ties to Charles, but yes, I think it's very interesting.
It's an
with your
interesting
defense.
pick. So
I like a lot of the individuals on the Chiefs.
I'm going to go a different way. The Chiefs defense, like I said, Tamba Ali, great pass rusher, underrated on an
Eagles
underrated
Browns. I'm sorry, Andis. My bust
It's
is
okay. It's a jersey.
my bust is T. Rich, and Trent Richardson is not ready. I hope he stays healthy through the game, and you have at least one starting running back for the rest of fantasy. But and my lust is very interesting for my buddies back home. I think Jason Avant separated. I think Jason Avant gets her done. That doesn't ruin what you wrote because you did a good job.
Yeah, I did.
But yes, Jason Avant, keep going. Did you guys?
My lust is Richardson. Just hoping for him that he can run on the Eagles for once, like some teams got lucky with last year. And my bust is Whedon because he has no chance with the receivers he has.
So, all of you guys who are in those 32-team leagues and have Whedon, you better bench him because Frank said
off
so.
over here, Rob.
Anyway.
I get even in. But I will consider my bust Trent Richardson. I just, if he can't beat out Mark Ingram as the starting running back in college, I don't have high expectations for him. Jim Brown as the Browns. And my lust is the Eagles D. I'm a huge Eagles guy. I have big expectations coming off of last season.
And he means huge.
Huge, like my penis size.
Yeah, it's big. And he likes the Eagles. Anyway, so speaking of prime time, so we got Redskins Saints. My bust is all Washington running backs. I don't know what you guys fucking read, pardon my language, flipping read while you guys were doing, while y'all, whatever you want to say, we're doing drift. You should never have drafted a Shanahan running back, especially when most were banged up beforehand. Yeah, Shanahan running backs are bust. My lust is Pierre Thomas because Mark Ingram is the most solid out of the running back crew, and Sproles is the most flexible out of the running back crew. Pierre Thomas is the only one that freaking makes sense to me as an NFL running back. So
Mark Ingram's garbage.
by week eight, he may only work for you for 4 weeks, but if you keep Pierre Thomas at the bottom of your bench, you got a fill-in spot for you for a little while. Right?
My lust is RG3 hoping that he can pull something out of his ass. And my bust is Royster because of the Sandusky incidents that happened in his past. That's about it.
BEDI.
I will go ahead and say that RG3 is my biggest bust, maybe of the season. I love the
Can't
guy.
blame me at all.
I love the guy. I just so much hype between commercial.
A for effort, A for advertising.
Commercial advertisements for sure. Too many
Subway.
commercials, Subway, anything you can name. He's in it. He hasn't proven himself, for smooth. But and then his high expectations as compared to Cam Newton. Totally different players. They're not really, but he's just a lot to live up to, especially being in the worst team in the division with
Rams
three
versus
decent receivers.
Lions. My bust, Stephen Ridley. How the heck?
Darren Sproles is my lust, by the way. I will go ahead and say that Darren
Ridley's
Sproles
on the
is my lust.
Patriots, while the Rams are
No, we're on Patriots,
Well,
Titans.
Rams are one.
He spells
No,
us.
no, Rams Lions.
How the heck are you guys friggin' taking Stephen Ridley or Shane Marine and assuming that either one is BGJE, is Corey Dillon, is Kevin Falk, is Sammy One? The Patriots don't want to support your fantasy team. Don't support the Patriots, man. So my bust, if you're going into week 1 starting Shane Vereen, Stephen Ridley, please, I think I'm betting on your team overall, but come on, man. It's not about running backs. So my bust is Stephen Ridley because that's who you guys are putting as your number 1 running back. And my lust is Jared Cook. He is a specimen. Someday somebody's going to figure it out. I don't care if it's Jake Locker. I don't care if it's Matthew Hasselbeck. I don't care if this guy needs to be a free agent for years. Jared Cook is a freak of nature. Jared Cook will be an elite tight end in this league. He is my lust. BEDI. Tell him I did wrong.
I will let you guys know that I wrote off, as bad as it is to say, that Gronk this year is going to be a bust. Just because
He's a second round early pick.
it's not even that. I just, last year is it's unexpected. It's a huge deal. People are going to be more caught onto it this year. And I just really can't expect him to put up numbers he put up last year. So that's my bust, and my lust for the Patriots-Titans game is Chris Johnson. My lust. I hope he gets back to the form that he got to.
The world is better.
The Lions a little
Chris
suspect. I hope Chris Johnson can produce.
Better.
Two.
My bust is Ridley for all the same reasons Rob said.
Really? Nice.
Yes. And my lust is Jake Locker because the Patriots have a weak secondary.
Oh, sorry. And BEDI points out to me, because he is my personal advisor for all my serious events, that I skipped my bust and my lust for the Rams Lions. My bust and lust for Rams Lions are pretty interesting, but they're ballsy. So he forced me to commit to these. My bust for Rams Lions is actually a popular sleeper in most fantasy leagues, Titus Young. Not so fast, my friends, as Lee Corso would say. I would keep this guy on the bottom of your bench if you're in a deep league. I think by the end of the season, Stafford's going to find plenty of balls to go his way. He's very talented. I like him better than all the running backs and most of the receivers. Balls coming his way. The lust from that game is Amendola, Danny Amendola. The ball's got to come his way eventually, man. Rams got to throw to somebody. The guy got totally fucking flipping ignored. Danny Amendola gets the ball. Who did you have in that one, Frank?
My bust is the Rams today because Stafford will be throwing all over him, and it'll be over soon. And my lust is Keelan Williams because with the big lead, they will be running the ball a game.
Somebody's got to stay healthy and carry the ball for the Lions. Keelan Williams is probably the most likely fellow. I don't know. Who'd you have?
BEDI?
I will let you know that my bust is actually the Lions defense, which is
Agreed. Just because they had a good pass rush doesn't mean they're.
2 years ago, Sue had a bomb year. They drafted Nick Fairley. Last year it went down a little bit. And I just feel like it's just going to regress from there. A lot of the off the field issues. I mean, great defensive tackles, but their defense is suspect. As far as you go. My lust is Darren Sproles. He's a key player.
He hasn't played for the Rams or Lions though ever.
You're right. That's why I picked Steven Jackson. So Steven Jackson, he carries the workload lust-wise. He's been injured every
You
once
can
in a while,
definitely hear him clearly.
which is Steven Jackson. I feel like he's been a workhorse for the Rams. They have nothing else-wise
All right, so
going for him.
So we're gonna break the rest down real quick with a bust and lust and just a quick comment. No, guys. Jaguars, Vikes, bust. I got Jones Drew. He's not ready to go.
I have Jones Drew as well.
I will say that my bust for Jags Vikings is Percy Harvin.
Good luck with that.
It's a good luck with that. That's perfectly fine. But I say that their quarterback is suspect beyond belief. They're more of a running team, and they're not going to make it out of the bottom 3 teams.
Number one in targets after Ponder took over.
And the number 1 targets doesn't mean number 1 receptions.
My lust for that game is Toby Gerhart, who I substituted in for Rashad Jennings in one of my fantasy leagues.
2?
My lust is Toby Garrett as well, just because AP will probably get injured, but I hope he doesn't because
This
we're going against him in
is
fact.
a question that a bunch of the viewers are dealing with.
And I will say
Gerhart versus Jennings.
Are
you Gerhart?
I will say that AP doesn't get injured. He had a major surgery, a huge deal right now. He broke his collarbone doing a front flip in college. Other than that, he's been solid. He's been a speed recovery since then. I will say that my lust in this game is Justin Blackman because he had a lot of potential coming out.
I agree. Blackman could rip on this game.
Doesn't have a quarterback to throw him. I hope he can produce.
But you have to be like I'm in a 10-team league where somebody dropped a defense or dropped Blackman and picked up a defense, and I went to pick up Blackman, and my entire team, including bench, shout out to Eddie Elson, is projected to get more than 10 points. Like I can't
Been a Blackman fan. Possession receiver, big receiver.
Well, let's move on. We're low battery. Let's move on. So my bust in the Bills Jets. Y'all know where I stand in the real game. It's a no-brainer. I said Sanchez. I don't know if anybody's still thinking it, but like maybe somebody, one of my cousins or whatever, who like has a thing for Sanchez. Is a good-looking California boy playing for a team from New Jersey. I don't know. Do not touch Mark Sanchez. Do not touch Tim Tebow. Take Tim Tebow in the last 3 rounds. Nick took Tim Tebow in the last 3 rounds of our draft, and he's sitting on that pretty. He's just keeping him. He has nothing to do with anything. He's protecting his eggs. It's all good. Who do you got as the
My
bust?
bust is Fitzpatrick because Revis will pick him about 3 times on Revis Island.
Sorry, and my lust is Dustin Keller. The guy's a beast. He gets played down every year. The Jets live through their tight end and they don't admit it. Keller's a beast.
And my lust is Mark Sanchez because eventually he has to do something good.
Well, Betty over here. I will say that my bust is CJ Spiller. Just haven't lived up to the hype at this point.
Right. And they're
Fred Jackson's their main guy. If he gets injured, you can expect CJ to get his carries, but at this point, more of a flex kind of guy, wide receiver at best.
Not the same bet.
My lust is the Bills defense, actually. I'll go ahead and say they've improved it a lot this offseason. I expect bigger things out of them than
not only did they do
Marty
that,
Williams.
they're playing an offense that didn't score a touchdown this preseason.
Yeah, right. So I
gotta give it that bet tag.
I'll go ahead and say the Bills defense. Marty Williams is gonna make a big impact on that defense.
All right, Dolphins Texans. I still trust Arian Foster to do his thing. My bust, I hate to say it, is the Dolphins defense. I think you got The best, like, this is over the past, like, 5 years, the best combination of quarterback, running back, receiver is Shaw, Foster, Johnson. Johnson's banged up. Shaw just recovered, but yeah, Dolphins defense, I'm rooting for you, but yeah, it's going to be tough. And my lust for that game is Ben Tate. I hope Arian Foster runs it up early, and my buddy, Ben Tate, points.
Points.
2?
My bust is Ryan Tannehill, just because Miami has nothing to help him, and he's going to be a bust his whole life. And my lust is Reggie Bush, because after the whole Kardashian breakup, he's been doing better in life.
Nice, I like that.
I will go ahead and say that my bust. I'm gonna also agree with the Dolphins defense. You know, you get rid of Vontae Davis, one of if not your best defensive player on your team. Cameron Wake. But Vontae, you know, best potential other than the fact that he takes plays off, whatever. A big time in your defense, and you get rid of him. Carlos Dansby is not cool with that. He's unsettled at this point. I mean, their defense is suspect. My lust, I would go ahead and I'm gonna go with a reach. I'm gonna say Ryan Tannehill. I think he's not gonna have a great year, but with no names, I feel like he's gonna. And preseason he's done a decent job. I feel like he has the intangibles, and people outgrew the fact that he wasn't gonna be as good as he is. But
And plus, his wife's probably ugly as sin.
Yeah, so she can get it.
Anyway, all right. Well, moving on. Seahawks Cardinals. This is one of the Rob himself pick updates, updates. Yeah, it works both ways. Anyway,
That's okay.
but one of my trust is a guy who I avoided like the plague.
We're on bust.
Bust and bust.
Yeah, I avoided Beanie Wells like the plague. So on my bust and trust, I avoid the quarterbacks. Whether now it's Skelton, I avoid him. Whether it's Russell Wilson, I avoid him. And on my lust, this Turpin dude who Frank Sr. took on is the only dude you could possibly lust after. I think Leon Washington is a third down machine, but if the Seahawks are saying that this Turpin dude gets the only carries, good for Frank Sr. That's the way the ball's going.
My lust is Turbin as well, and my bust is Beanie Wells because he has shown me nothing, and I hate Ohio State. BEDI?
I will go ahead and say my bust is the Seahawks defense. They were good last year, but I haven't seen anything from them prior to that. I mean, I'm optimistic, but at this point, show me what we've done lately. I want to see them produce again. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that a bust this year is the Seahawks defense. I feel like they're a fluke. As far as lust goes, I expect big things out of Michael Floyd. Opposite Larry Fitzgerald, drawing the double teams. They don't really have a quarterback to throw to him, but they took a chance on this guy, and I want to see what he's got. So I'll go ahead and say, I'll put out for Michael Floyd.
We're gonna speed up the next two and just give names. Bust for 49ers Packers, which is a huge game. My bust is Benson and Starks. The Packers running backs they ain't ready. They don't know. And then for the Panthers and Buccaneers. My bust is Steve Smith, man. Like, they may have moved Rondé Barber over to safety, but yo, you're still freaking, like, what, 30,000 years old and trying to burn corners? Like, you're 5'9", bro. You got a problem. And my lust for those two games, Vernon Davis, I mean, I think the Packers are solid top to bottom, front to back. Vernon Davis is the only chance they have. And for the Panthers, I think the lust is Greg Olson. I think he's an awesome target for the exact same reasons. Guys, who are your lust and
My
bust?
bust is Cedric Benson, because the Niners have a great defense. And my lust for that game is Randy Moss. First game back in a year or two. Gonna get a nice couple touchdowns in the end zone. And then my bust for the Panthers game is Josh Freeman. Because you can't trust him, and he's probably gonna be injured after the first quarter.
Man, I see.
And then my lust is Brandon LaFell. Because he's a nice deep threat and always comes
That's
through.
the guy I was trying to answer that.
Betty?
I will go ahead and say that my bust for the San Francisco Green Bay game is Cedric Benson.
I agree.
I mean, you just can't expect much out of a Packers passing game. And my lust is
Running
Jermichael.
game.
No, my lust for their passing game is Jermichael Finley. And he's
Right, yeah, love my life, but just not.
great tight end. I
Just
mean,
can't bank on him. Can't draft him that early. Can't.
potential wise, I mean, you can't. It's through the roof. But
So what do you feel about the next game?
the next game? Panthers Bucks. My bust. I would go ahead and say that Cam Newton is going to go ahead and be my bust.
High standards. So that's
The standards are so high.
He's not.
especially from last
He's not
year.
saying he's not a starting quarterback.
Not
He's
a
just
starting
saying
quarterback. He's a great quarterback.
He's
but
not-
as far as last year goes,
He's not top
At
five
this point, I feel like
this
it's
week.
a fluke, and I mean,
he's not top 5 this week.
especially since second year drop offs. My loss is going to head and be Steve Smith. I hope that he continues to produce at this level. Since before Cam Newton, he slumped off a little bit, and Cam Newton revived his career. I hope he continues that. Great wide receiver.
Steelers Broncos. What do you feel?
I got as my bust Mike Wallace because he hasn't shown up for training camp or any preseason games, and it won't work out well. And my lust is Jacob Tammy because Peyton Manning loves his tight ends. It's like a pacifier for babies.
Give me that bet day.
I will give you the bet day all day long. I say that Isaac Regnan is going to be my bust. I mean, the Steelers,
Anders.
the Steelers don't really run the ball. Mendenhall's going to be back. From what I heard, I mean, it's just the running game suspect at this point. They have more wide receivers. It's not classic Steelers. My loss is going to head and be Peyton Manning. I expect the Peyton Manning of old. You can't expect anything less from him. It's just plain and simple. That's all I got.
Yeah. All right, so you heard what it is. We'll hit you back with our Monday nights. But until then, you know the site. You know the characters.
Stay thirsty.
You saw Nick's shirt. Nick's still beating us out shirt. Except for you didn't notice that the back of my shirt says. But it's all good. Anyway, y'all have a good night.